You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Prior to full operation, a trial run for the new water pipeline, which feeds the governorates of South and North Sharqiya, is carried out. And the total production at refineries and petrochemical industries in the Sultanate increases by 7% at the end of April. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, on his winning for a second term. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Salome Zourabichvili of Georgia on the occasion of her country's National Day. The Public Authority for Water (DIAM) announced that the work of installing a new water pipeline, which feeds the governorates of South and North Sharqiya, was completed as the existing water pipeline was damaged due to the recent weather condition. DIAM stated that it's conducting a trial run for the pipeline prior to full operation. It's worth mentioning that the authority, in cooperation with governmental and civil bodies, continued to provide public and private units and houses with water through water tankers. The Royal Army of Oman and engineering services in the Ministry of Defense continue their efforts to provide drinking water to citizens and residents in the governorates of South and North Sharqiya, as water supply was disrupted there due to the recent weather condition. The Royal Army of Oman and engineering services started supplying water to citizens through their water tankers. Royal Oman Police and Public Authority for Civil Defense and Ambulance also supplied water to citizens and residents. The Royal Army also dug bore wells to cover the shortage of water in the governorates of South and North Sharqiya. In order to enable small and medium-sized enterprises and strengthen its contribution to the Sultanate's gross domestic product and benefit from the investment opportunities in Duqm Economic Zone, Special Economic Zone in Duqm CZ issued a decision which obligates companies to allocate 10% of the awarded works to small and medium-sized enterprises. The amount of money which went to SMEs since 2015 is expected to be over 59 million Omani riyals. It's worth mentioning that the number of small and medium enterprises which are registered in Duqm Economic Zone reached 613. The total production of refineries and petrochemical industries increased by 7% by the end of April 2019. The National Center for Statistics and Information stated that the production of car fuel M91 reached more than 5.2 million barrels, while the production of car fuel M95 amounted to more than 4.3 million barrels. The production of diesel witnessed a decline and reached to 8.8 million barrels. The production of jet fuel exceeded 4.7 million barrels. The center added that the production of liquefied petroleum gas amounted to more than 2.5 million barrels. U.S. President Donald Trump today needled Japan over the U.S.-Japan trade imbalance as he kicked off a state visit to the country. While the visit is expected to be largely ceremonial, the stakes are also high. Trump is threatening Japan with potentially devastating U.S. tariffs on foreign autos and auto parts and has suggested he will go ahead with the tariffs if the U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer doesn't manage to wrest concessions from Japan and the European Union. Trump had predicted that a US-Japan trade deal could be finalized during his trip, but that's highly unlikely given the two sides are still figuring out the parameters of which they will negotiate. Shortly after touching down in Japan, Trump praised what he described as the best relationship with Japan they ever had, saying that they are going to keep it that way. Cyril Ramaphosa was sworn in for a 5-year term as South Africa's president today, with a delicate fight against government corruption ahead of him. He took the oath of office in front of some 30,000 people at the stadium in the capital, Pretoria, with several regional leaders from Congo, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and elsewhere in the attendance. The inauguration followed his ruling African National Congress Party 57.5% victory in this month's election. Ramaphosa first took office last year after former President Jacob Zuma was pressured to resign amid corruption scandals that badly damaged public faith in the ANC. A former protege of South Africa's first black president, Nelson Mandela, Ramaphosa is seen by many as having the potential to clean up both the government and the ruling party's reputation. Family, friends, and supporters have welcomed a veteran Sherpa guide upon his return to Nepal's capital day after 24th climb of Mount Everest extended his record. Kami Rita flew back today from Everest to Kathmandu, where he was greeted by the waiting crowd at the airport. His wife and the crowd covered him with a cream-colored scarf and offered him yogurt. Rita told reporters he was very happy, but he was too exhausted to talk about any details. Rita reached the 8,850-meter peak of Mount Everest on Tuesday. This was his second time on the summit within a week. He climbed to the top of it on the 15th of May, then returned to the base camp before climbing to the top again within the same week. Rita first scaled Everest in 1994 and has been making the trip nearly every year since. Still to come on News Bulletin. With a blow from Bargoum music instrument, the Haris selling period starts in Maladda village in the Wilayat of Masana. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Ministry of Culture in the Republic of Egypt organized a press conference at the Supreme Council of Culture to introduce His Majesty Sultan Qaboos' 8th Award for Culture, Arts and Literature, as well as the rules and conditions. The press conference also introduced the jury and the award's 3 categories, which are sociology, Arabic music, and travel literature. The award reaffirms the Sultanate's role in encouraging Arab talents, artists, and writers to continue their contributions in promoting literature, culture, and music. The event was attended by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Ahmed Al Isai, the Sultanate's ambassador to Egypt and its permanent representative at the Arab League. With various Ramadan dishes, haris remains a favorite dish for many Omanis, especially traditionally made haris. As you move away from Muscat towards the Wilaya of Masana'a and enter the traditional Maladda village, the locals from Aswaghi Alley have kept the customs of preparing haris in a traditional method, using wet wood and large pots. The locals gather in one spot where the haris is being prepared to take their share of this Ramadan dish, arguing that the flavor of haris is quite heavenly. After preparing the haris, a traditional blow music instrument called bargoum will be used to announce the start of the selling period. Here are the Ramadan times for tomorrow. Fajr prayer at 3:56 a.m. and Maghrib prayer at 6:52 p.m. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. Prior to full operation, a trial run for the new water pipeline, which feeds the governorates of South and North Sharqiya, is carried out. And the total production at refineries and petrochemical industries in the Sultanate increased by 7% at the end of April. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and good night.